So I was getting this really weird tingly feeling. It's amazing. I'm still feeling it. It's like, I think it came from the thought, what if money didn't exist or wasn't a thing? And also, what if there was no judgment either? So all the thoughts and feelings and emotions that you have related to money, and all the thoughts and emotions and feelings you have related to judgment, you judging yourself, others judging you, you judging others, others judging others, all forms of judgment are eliminated. Like, what if you had $1 million a day being deposited into your bank account, but you didn't care about the money? You were just like, oh yeah, it's there and it's just going to keep coming. It's unimportant anymore. It's no longer important. Wow. By the way, if you're new here, I am Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, where we're seeking to discover the hidden mysteries of our reality and the hidden wisdom of the ages. I'm super fascinated. I'm obsessed with discovering true happiness. I don't even know if happiness is the right word anymore to describe what it is that I'm seeking to discover, seeking to understand this ultimate contentness. But man, I feel this tingly feeling. I'm like, what if? Because it's almost like all the problems, all the stress and unhappiness and anxiety, all the negative feelings that, from my perspective, that I judge as negative. See, there's the judgment again. It's like all these feelings that I judge as negative seem to be tied to judgment, which could also be deemed as perspective or your viewpoint. All my struggles in life are related to my viewpoint about the situation or my judgment, and money related to my viewpoint and my judgment about the situation. Like, this solves everything for me. I'm like, politics, instantly. Like, if you bring the statement that any idea presented based on money or judgment is not based on truth, therefore is illogical. When you throw away anything, any thoughts connected to money or the judgment of a person, place, or thing, I don't know how to describe it. It just makes me feel tingly. I'm getting this tingly sensation. And then I have the thought, how do I put this into words? And then I have the thought, why? Why put it into words? It's almost like when you try to describe something, you take away the energy of what it is and you put that energy on trying to describe it, on trying to make it finite, a thing, rather than it just being. I'm like, I might be, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just getting really tingly. Like my fingers are like super tingly right now. I was working and I was listening to podcasts and I was writing down these thoughts, and then this just started hitting me. And it was almost lunchtime. Maybe I need to go eat. But I'm like, no, I'm fine. I have energy. I'm not tired. I'm not weak. I'm like, I have this weird energy. It's not anxiety. I feel really comfortable right now. I'm going to read down my note card I'm going to read my note card for the day. Maybe this will help explain this crazy sensation that's going on. 2/20/2020. That's got to be significant. Definitely. My mind was like, maybe I could use that in the title to get more views on. See, instantly you get trapped into the craziness, the judgment, and the money. Maybe money's not even money. Maybe it's more like, because maybe trying to amass followers and trying to amass likes and, people that collect shoes, or maybe that's another form of money. This, like, anyways, 2020 has to be significant in some way. It was in one of the podcasts I was listening to this morning, and then Wayne Steiger's show coming up this afternoon at noon. Wayne Steiger does a show every day at noon. Check out Wayne Steiger. He's been an integral part of my journey. But his video, the thumbnail is 2/20/2020. So I'm, there's all the synchronicities going on. So I wrote down here, wow, what if happiness is dependent on how aligned you are with your purpose? So what if the reason we're unhappy in our lives is because we're not doing what is our purpose? We're not doing what we like. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And this would go into the debate of those who think there is no purpose and we have no purpose and we're just here because, we spawned out of the, oceans millions of years ago and evolved. There's an alternative debate to whether or not there is purpose, but I'm going to go past that because I know that each of us has a purpose. How can I know that? Matt Belair puts it the simplest. It's like if an otter was trying to be a moose, and the moose was trying to be an eagle, and the eagle's trying to be a otter, everything's effed up in the environment. And when the otter moves into the otter position, and the eagle moves into the eagle position, and the moose plays the moose part, everything works together. And not only everything works together, it all flows and everybody's happy and everything works better. Like it's supposed to be, it would seem. So that's my argument for purpose. But I feel like each of us plays one of those roles in a human metaphor or a human simile, whatever it is, a human version of that representation, archetype. What if happiness versus like depression, anxiety, all those other feelings that are the opposite of what I think of as happiness, once again, perspective. What if happiness is dependent on how aligned you are with fitting in to your natural role. It just makes sense. I'm like, it gets me this tingly feeling. I'm like, holy shit. Forgive the cursing. Ah, that's funny. My mind was like, forgive the cursing. Is that an indoctrination from my religious childhood to forgive bad words? Hmm. Anyways, way off subject there. Once again, leak project, first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m., boom. And Rex Bear's interviewing James Gilliland. I'm not sure if that's how you say the name. It was Gilliland. So Gilliland. James Gilliland says, and this is an amazing thing, actually. Before I go into what he said, Sean Cannell, when I was learning about how to YouTube everything, how to, just type in how to YouTube, and Sean Cannell will probably come up on YouTube because he's one of those guys that does YouTube mentor, guru, all that stuff. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. He said this thing. He's like, the reason you want to have a really good hook at the intro of your video is because usually the most life-changing part of a video, like no matter the topic, you could be talking about yoga, you could be talking about Star Trek, you could be talking about baseball cards, you could be talking about carpentry, blue jeans, any topic in the world. 7 minutes into the video, there could be a life-changing sentence. A life-changing sentence. And he goes, if you don't have the good hook at the beginning of your video, 90% of people aren't going to make it to that 7 minute in or 20 minute in or 65 minutes in. There's 4-hour podcasts out there where the most important 1 minute was 3 hours and 22 minutes in. And it's like, that's so powerful to me because I feel really strongly about that. And that's what this quote was. And I think it was literally like one of the last things said in the podcast. Most recent podcast Rex Bear did, but, well, it may not be most recent anymore because he's probably done 2 in the last 3 hours, which is crazy, but not crazy. It's amazing. It's going hard. And this goes to the point of him going hard at his passion and happiness being dependent on how aligned we are with our purpose and our passion. James Gilliland says, we all have our own unique soul purpose for being here. Whenever somebody says something like that, my mind's like, bling, listen, turn on, light bulb, stop what you're doing. He goes, we all have our own unique soul purpose for being. He says it so nonchalant, like it's just, we all have our own unique soul purpose for being here. And when you're aligned with your soul purpose, when you're aligned with your soul purpose you incarnated for, there's all this energy that comes in, and you're too, what did I say right there? There's all this energy that comes in, and you're totally inspired and ready to make things happen, because he's appreciating Rex for doing what he's doing, because Rex just has all the energy and he's like always going. And everybody I watch I feel the same way for all of them. It's just fascinating. See, I got distracted there. I'm just going to re-say this exactly how it's written here and exactly as I heard it. James Gilliland says, we all have our own unique soul purpose for being here. And when you're aligned with your soul purpose you're incarnated for, there's all this energy that comes in, and you're totally inspired and ready to make things happen. That's what's happening. There's people that are hooked. Oh no, some of the words got smudged away. Look at it in the that comes in, and you're totally inspired and ready to make things happen. That's what's happening. There's people that are hooked into this, that are hooked into their own unique purpose for being here. And then there's other people that are just enslaved through the system and things, and they're, I'm getting that tingly feeling. I'm like tingling behind my ears right now. This is crazy. I'm sorry if I'm being nuts in this video, ladies and gentlemen. But like this money and letting go of the judgment will lead to finding your purpose, will lead to living with purpose, will lead to being inspired, which is, in definition, being in spirit, which is, by definition, having conscious contact with Source, or, really getting to know God. I'm like, holy shit, we're figuring it out. This is amazing. So, we all have our own unique soul purpose for being here. And when you're aligned with your soul purpose you're incarnated for, there's all this energy that comes in and you're totally inspired and ready to make things happen. And that's what's happening. There's people that are hooked into their own unique purpose for being here. And then there's other people that are just enslaved through the system and things, and they're really upset and they're not happy. They're bummed. And we can be an inspiration. When we discover this and really begin to come to know this through doing it, through being in spirit, through being inspired and living in inspiration, letting go of all judgment, finding a way to trick our minds into understanding that money doesn't even exist. And it's irrelevant. It's like our survival programming overrides this knowing. Because our survival programming is like, no, you need the paper money. Like you gotta, I love how Matt Belair puts it, you gotta, we gotta, build up our acorns, or like whatever chipmunks do. They're like, we gotta stash more nuts, we just gotta build up our nut stash, our acorns or peanuts or whatever it is, and keep as many as we can get. Sorry, off topic there, but like, holy cow. I wonder if this is what a satori is. Kind of like when you have this sudden awareness, this sudden understanding that's like you're met with a uncontrollable laughter. Because sometimes I think these things and I just bust out laughing. I'm like, what the? It makes so much sense now. But seriously, like I'm tingling all the way from my fingers through my arms up to my head now. Whew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go make some breakfast. If you get value from the content that I provide, consider subscribing. My video yesterday I did on health, I got a message from a close family member, and they had a suggestion that I take a look at a video they sent me. I'll have to get into that today or tomorrow, and I'm going to do a response video on earthing and grounding, because I think that's super important when it comes to health as well. Thank you, Taylor, for sending that message. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate everybody that watches. Once again, if you get value, consider subscribing, smash the like button, leave me a comment, and let me know if you think I should look into something and I should share about it, because I'm really willing to do that. I obviously am inspired to just do this, which is weird. I can't really explain it. Like I'm at work and I'm like writing things down on cut off cardboard pieces about happiness being dependent on us being aligned with our purpose, and we all have our own unique soul purpose, and there's this energy that we get when we do what we're incarnated for. I mean, who does this? Just like naturally, there's something happening in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to be the change that we want to see. I love that. Shout out to Rex Bear League Project. Shout out to everybody that's inspired me along my journey. I owe you the most, and I know one day we'll all be close friends, and we'll all meet in communion and share these thoughts in a much greater and grander way. But I want to go back to the last sentence on this here. It was, what was it? We can be an inspiration. Go out and be the inspiration, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in the future with more interesting topics to throw your way.